Cyclone Michaung has led to unbelievable and unprecedented rainfall in the city of Chennai. It's brought back memories of what happened in 2015 as Chennaites have been for the last 24 hours without power, many of them unable to step out of their homes, most low-lying areas completely inundated, and shocking images coming in of cars being swept away in apartments that lie bang on the lake bed. These are in places like Pallikarnai, Perangudi and other such pockets. It's led to questions about whether the administration did enough to prepare for this monsoon. But remember that this is also nature's wrath. So there's only so much the administration can do in the face of this kind of a rain-bearing cyclone. We'll talk about whether this is similar to 2015, whether Chennai has received more rainfall now than in 2015. We'll give you that data in just a bit. But first, take a look at all that's happened in the last few hours. What's the situation in Chennai?
Heavy rains, gusty winds, waterlogged roads. Chennai and its suburbs are bracing for Cyclone Michaung. The cyclone is expected to make landfall between Nellore and Machilipatnam in southern Andhra Pradesh by Tuesday noon. But the rains that precede the landfall have brought Tamil Nadu's capital city down on its knees. Many residential areas are inundated. Citizens could be seen wading through knee-deep water. Cars floated like boats on waterlogged stretch.
We are currently reporting from outside the Chennai Corporation headquarters, and very interesting and very concerning. In fact, you can see how the Chennai Corporation building itself is flooded. You can see the kind of water levels. Just look at those cars. So you can imagine the kind of water levels that are there at this point in time. And this is the Chennai Corporation headquarters. So you can imagine the rest of the city as well, how flooded it must be. And that is what is the real concern at this point in time. There's just no respite from rains. It's been pounding heavily in Chennai and the neighbouring districts of Chennai.
Water entered two government hospitals in Krompet area and Chennai, affecting healthcare services. Heavy downpour impacted traffic in the city. Operations at the Chennai International Airport were affected. Several flights were cancelled and many flights diverted. The Met Department has predicted heavy rains for Chennai and adjoining regions for 24 hours. The waterlogging has brought back memories of 2015 floods that crippled Chennai. The government has advised citizens to stay indoors. The National Disaster Response Force teams have been rushed to the landfall area. Over 21 teams are deployed to Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Puducherry. 8 teams are on standby. Over 18,000 police personnel are on the ground in Chennai. Medical response teams are on standby for any emergency. With Shibimol KG and Shilpa Nair in Chennai, Bureau Report, India Today.
Let me take this across to Shilpa Nair, who's been braving the situation in the city to get us constant updates from the ground and travelling across Chennai to tell you what the situation is in different pockets of the city. She joins us live right now from Mount Road in Chennai. Shilpa, good evening. Mount Road is, part of the heart of Chennai. And what I've been noticing from all the reports that you've sent us is that even these parts of Chennai, which usually don't get waterlogged, are completely underwater. So you can only imagine what the situation is in low-lying areas, particularly in those buildings which are close to lakes and in marshland.
Well, yes, Akshita. In fact, I want to apologize to our viewers. The power suddenly went off, and that is the situation, across Chennai. There's no power, and that is the reason why the screen, of course, just went blank. But as far as the situation in Chennai is concerned, it's quite concerning because even now, even as we're speaking, there is heavy rains that's pounding the city, and not just Chennai, but even the neighboring districts, Chegalpet, Tiruvallur, Kanchipuram, etc. And for that reason, there's massive flooding in all these four districts, and there is no, the biggest challenge for the Chennai Corporation and the Tamil Nadu government officials is the fact that the rains are simply not stopping. The cyclone is said to be looping and it's not moving forward towards the Andhra Pradesh side. So that is the reason why it is still close to the Chennai coast, and that is bringing a lot of rains. That's dumping a lot of rains in Chennai, Kanchipuram, Tiruvallur and Chengalpet. And the government, of course, has now declared a public holiday tomorrow for all these four districts, and even for the public, the private establishments and offices. The State Disaster Management Authority has advised them to allow their employees to work from home because the situation is simply dangerous for people to venture out unnecessarily. There's massive flooding on the streets. Water has entered homes. There are strong winds. Trees are falling. Branches of trees are falling. So all of this is happening on ground, and that is the reason why the government believes it's best for people to stay indoors, and if at all they require assistance, helpline numbers have been given, especially for Chennai Corporation. Helpline numbers have been publicized so that anything that they need, they can get in touch with the officials. But that, of course, is not enough because what we're seeing is it's getting really difficult for the people of Chennai because water levels are rising and the water is simply not draining from the streets. Now, what we're given to understand is that there is a high tide, so that, of course, leads to a lesser rate of water draining out from the street. Another reason is because several water outlets, several water bodies in and around Chennai is already full. It's brimming. So the water from the streets have no place to go to, and that is the reason why it's simply not draining out. So the rains will have to subside for the water to recede, and that is not happening. It was predicted that it could, of course...
if the worst is over as far as the rainfall is concerned. So that's the first point, if you could throw a light on. Secondly, Shilpa, you've covered these kind of monsoons before. Is this the worst Chennai has seen, especially comparing to 2015?
Akshita, I was not able to hear your question, and I'm sorry that the visuals are quite dark because there is again a power cut. Across Chennai, there is power cuts because the electricity department has cut off power in multiple areas because the water levels, of course, have gone up, and because of the strong winds, they do not want cable lines to get snapped. That is also another reason. So power is out in most of the localities, and that, of course, is causing a lot of inconvenience for the public because most of them are indoors and they have no access to electricity, and you know the kind of troubles that it can cause. Now, as far as the alert is concerned, even tomorrow, going by the situation, the IMD has predicted a landfall of the cyclone near South Andhra Pradesh coast. Now, when will that happen? There is no clarity as yet. It was initially predicted that it could happen around forenoon. But considering the fact the cyclone is now looping and it's not moving as fast as they had predicted it, we'll have to wait and see what the recent update from IMD would be. But the situation is quite concerning. In fact, I am at Mount Road. This is one of the major arterial roads in the city. Even for us to go to do ground reports, to show our viewers the extent of flooding in Chennai, it's simply not possible because most of the roads are now flooded and access to those roads have completely been cut off. And that is the reason why even we are not able to move freely around the city. At least 13 subways in Chennai have been shut because water has completely entered those subways. Train services have been cancelled. So many train services have been cancelled. Over 150 of them have been cancelled. And that is the reason why a lot of passengers are stranded at the Chennai Central Railway Station as well. Flight also, as far as the Chennai airport is concerned, The runway operations have been suspended till 11 p.m. this night, and later this evening they'll be taking a call on whether they should be resuming services. But going by the weather conditions, it's unlikely. Going by the fact that water levels are rising across the city, it looks unlikely. But again, we'll have to wait for an update from Chennai airport authorities on that. So what is essentially happening is life coming to a standstill in Chennai, reminding us of the grim picture, reminding us of the grim tragedy that took place in 2015. The only hope and prayer at this point in time by everyone in Chennai and in the neighboring districts is for these rains to stop and for the water to recede and for life to come back to normal.
Very true. Shilpa, take care, be careful out there. We know how challenging it can be for you to report in those conditions. As Shilpa's been telling us, there's been no power for at least 24 hours and counting now. It doesn't look like it's going to come on anytime now. The administration obviously taking the step as a precautionary measure as well. There's been no let-up of the rain. This cyclone that we're talking about, Michaung, is more of a rain-bearing cyclone. In some cases, the systems have stronger winds. In this case, it's got more rain than really strong winds. But I want to cut across to breaking news coming in right now with the situation as it stands in coastal Tamil Nadu, particularly in Chennai. Now, Home Minister Amit Shah has confirmed that he's had a detailed conversation with Tamil Nadu Chief Minister M.K. Stalin on the situation at hand. Amit Shah has taken to social media to say that he's spoken to the Tamil Nadu Chief Minister as well as the Puducherry Chief Minister, and he said, and I quote, took stock of the measures taken to tackle the challenging weather conditions, assured them of all the necessary assistance from the Modi government. Adequate deployment of the NDRF has already been made. Additional teams are ready for further assistance. So Amit Shah saying that NDRF teams are already in action, which we have seen on the ground. Huge help as they've ensured that people in low-lying areas whose homes are completely filled with water are being rescued via boats. Amit Shah also confirming that if there is a need, the centre will step up the assistance that they are giving right now to the state government. This cyclone has in fact wreaked havoc in Chennai. The city is woken up this morning to in fact trees having fallen on the roads, no power, water in all sides, and there are horrifying images coming in truly of how cars have been swept away, of gushing water entering people's homes, and they have nowhere to go essentially with no power. Many of them also saying that they have no signals on their phones. They are unable to even reach out to authorities to seek for help. Unfortunately, Chennai has seen this before as well. And as a Chennaiite, I can tell you that we've borne the brunt of this almost every December. But when a cyclone like this hits, nothing really prepares you for the effect and impact that it really has on the city, literally crippling it. And it takes weeks really to emerge out of this kind of a tragedy, out of this kind of a calamity. 5 deaths have also been confirmed in Chennai as a result of this cyclone. Let's talk about all of the comments coming in, comparing this to what happened in 2015. Those memories are still so fresh in our minds. Some of those images are on your screens of what happened in 2015, comparing it to 2023. And I know it looks very similar. I know it looks as deadly as it was in 2015. But just for you and for your knowledge of how much rainfall really Chennai has received, back in 2015, it was 309 mm of rainfall. Of course, it was spread over a few days. So you had one system, then a second, then a third, bombarding the city of Chennai, which is what led to the unprecedented situation that we saw in Chennai in 2015. This time around, 2023, you've seen 209 mm of rainfall. And this system right now, this cyclone, which is moving as we speak towards the Andhra coast, is bringing more and more rainfall. So unfortunately, tonight as well, Chennai, brace yourselves for a long, long night, because what we're hearing from experts is that the system isn't really moving as fast as it should be, and that's because it's a rain-bearing cyclone. So it's kind of stagnant right now, which means that the clouds around the heart of really that cyclone is what's bringing a lot of rain right now to Chennai. And experts, authorities have said that the rainfall will continue. Maybe with not the intensity that you saw last night, but there's going to be no let-up really in the rain. Let's get you some of the images that we've been getting from our reporters and from residents of Chennai that tell you really what the situation is on the ground. Let's begin by, in fact, showing you the situation in several parts of Chennai. Wind speeds picking up, heavy rains leading to trees being uprooted, and several parts of Chennai, almost every single area right now inundated. Major roads are witnessing water stagnation in Chennai. The Aranganathan subway submerged in rainwater, leading to no vehicular movement in that area. Most subways right now closed off. Due to severe waterlogging, a mugger crocodile was spotted on a road in the outskirts of Chennai. This video came to light on social media that shows the crocodile crossing the road to reach back into its water body. This could be a serious concern. Officials have warned, but they've said don't provoke the animal and it will go away from you. A word of appreciation and praise also for the officials who are working constantly on ground. This being an example, a man who fell down in a construction site after a wall collapsed was rescued by the Chennai police using ropes, and then they pulled him out. The Tamil Nadu Commander Force team is also on the ground. They've removed trees that blocked roads after heavy winds lashed Kanathur in Chennai. They were also seen rescuing people with boats from areas completely inundated. There's water everywhere, and that's why there is all of this talk of a return of a 2015 situation. Drone images showing in Chennai how some of the worst hit areas look like right now, and there's water in all sides, leading to residents wondering when things will get back to normal. In Chennai's Velachery, multiple cars that were parked outside houses were seen floating in the waterlogged locality. Velachery is one of those places that always witnesses this kind of a deluge, and unfortunately this time too, nothing has changed. This video has come to light from Chennai's ECR, where a newly constructed wall collapsed. 2 died as a result of that. 1 has been critically injured. The problem in this kind of a storms is that every single part of Chennai gets crippled. This is the government multi-speciality hospital, completely inundated, submerged in water, so are surrounding areas. You can see in these images an ambulance wading through the waterlogged stretch in Chennai to reach a hospital in time. It's not just Chennai, but other parts close to the city also badly affected. These images are from Tamil Nadu's Tiruvallur at the Palaverkadu beach, where there was heavy waterlogging reported. Now, I know a lot of you in Chennai watching this broadcast wondering what next, what's going to happen now, are things going to get worse? Well, most experts have said the worst is behind us, but the rainfall will continue. And let me just put out for you the forecast that's been issued in Chennai. The red alert stays not just for today, but also for tomorrow, which is why schools, offices have been shut. It's going to take time to emerge out of the situation. So the red alert remains. Do not step out of your homes unless absolutely necessary, at least if you are in a safe spot, or otherwise immediately call authorities. What about other neighboring parts of Chennai? Tiruvallur, for example, another area that's been badly affected. Heavy rainfall that's predicted tomorrow as well. So the incessant rainfall will continue. It's only a question of how heavy the spell is. Kanchipuram, again neighboring to Chennai, a red alert stays for tomorrow as well. Heavy rainfall is predicted to continue for the next 24 hours. In Chengalpet, which is close to Chennai, the red alert is for 2 days. Heavy rainfall to continue tomorrow as well. So in the city of Chennai and all neighboring areas, there is going to be rainfall tomorrow as well, is what experts have warned. And while things will slowly let up, it's going to take time for really life to come back to normal, for the water to drain off. So do not step out unless absolutely necessary. And that's clearly an advisory that's been issued by the authorities as well. All right, the cyclonic storm now, which is also in fact become a severe cyclonic storm, Michaung is now moving as we speak towards Andhra. It's expected to make landfall somewhere between Nellore and Machilipatnam, but that trajectory seems to be also slightly changing because it's right now stalled. The weather system isn't moving as predicted and not moving as fast as predicted. But Andhra is bracing for the impact of this cyclone. It's expected that tomorrow Andhra will face the brunt of this cyclone. It will in fact pick up speeds of up to 100 kilometers per hour as it inches closer towards Andhra. Andhra Pradesh Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy has been taking stock of the situation, reviewing all preparations on ground. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has also had a conversation with the Andhra Chief Minister and assured that all necessary help will be given to the Andhra government to deal with this particular situation and to deal with the consequences of the cyclone hitting.